Senator King.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I love your focus on maintenance. I have a half facetious but half serious suggestion. We should benchmark our availability of our ships against Maersk and Carnival Cruise Lines. If they had the low availability that we have, they'd been out of business a long time ago. And you understand that. When you have an enormous capital asset, it should be used. Every minute that it's not used is penalizing the taxpayers and also diminishing the effectiveness of the Navy. So I hope that you'll really focus on that and see, and I'd like to see the metrics over a period of years of time in dry dock versus availability. So I take it that that's going to be a significant focus of your work.
Thank you for the question, Senator King, and I did enjoy our time together. I jokingly say that President Trump has texted me numerous times, very late at night, sometimes after 1 in the morning, of rusty ships or ships in a yard, asking me what am I doing about it, and I've told him I'm not confirmed yet and have not been able to do anything about it, but I will be very focused on it. So I view it as a critical issue, as you and I do, and I think your idea about benchmarking versus some of those other private sector companies is a very good idea, and understanding how they keep these things running is very important. I know under a prior secretary, before they used Southwest Airlines to come in to help with our planes and getting more efficient. So I think there's a lot of best practices to be shared across the two, and I'm hoping with my relationships and contacts in the private sector, we should be able to do that.
And I loved it when you said, we've never done it that way before is not a sufficient excuse. We've got to be looking forward, not backward. And that brings me to fighting the next war rather than the last war. There are two areas we have fallen behind in, and I believe have been very damaging to national security and our deterrent. One is directed energy, the other is hypersonics. For years, I've been asking admirals that have been sitting in your seat, you're in the GI-UK gap. Hypersonic missile is launched from Murmansk. It will hit your aircraft carrier in 12 minutes. What do you do? I've never had a good answer to that question. We've got to be able to answer that question. If part of our deterrent and our strategy is forward-based naval assets, we've got to have defensive capability as well as offensive capability in hypersonics. Do you take that as a mission?
I do, Senator King. I believe, as I think Mr. Feinberg the other day mentioned, hypersonics is a key component to our defense, and we seem to be behind. And I believe we need to focus on that. I think it's to directed energy. You and I spoke about this when we met. I believe that recently the Navy executed a successful directed energy defense against drones in the Red Sea. I think it was the Helios program, which was very effective. I think it's a very smart way to deter drone attacks using $2 million missiles to take out $30,000 drones is not a model that's going to survive.
Not very businesslike.
No.
And the directed energy, I think, is about 50 cents a shot once you have the device there. And I do appreciate that finally the Preble and the Helios system are in the Red Sea. It's taken an awfully long time. So that's one I hope you'll follow up on. The next major surface combatant is called DDX. It's a successor to the DDG, which is being built now in Mississippi and in Maine. By the way, I want to invite you both to the ill-named Portsmouth Naval Shipyard and to Bath Iron Works, where the DDGs are built. There was in our legislation, we talked about it fostering a collaborative relationship between the Navy and the two major shipyards that build DDGs on the DDX design, so that it's designed and is buildable. One of the problems is design is separated and then you go to build it and it's very, very expensive. I hope you will commit to continuing that collaborative relationship and actually stepping it up, because I understand it has faltered to some extent.
Thank you for the question, Senator King. If confirmed, I look forward to visiting Maine and New Hampshire with you. Yes, I think I'm very focused on that. I think understanding, I've been trying to spend as much time trying to understand how the whole process works. I read a book about how the B-2 bomber was designed by 12 people. And I believe when I met with Senator Ernst, she had mentioned to me that I believe on one ship we have 800 people designing a ship. So I don't know how you build something with 800 people. It just adds to requirements. You get mission creep.
Collaboration between the Navy and the shipbuilders, I think, would bear fruit for the taxpayers as well as the buildability of the ship and the time to getting there. Thank you very much. Workforce in shipbuilding, I wanted to talk about. Believe it or not, parking and childcare are issues in workforce. And that's something, it doesn't sound like it would be a Navy project to build a parking garage or a childcare center, but that's absolutely necessary in order to maintain the workforce in the shipbuilding and the economy that we're in today. I hope that's something you'll attend to.
Yeah, as I mentioned in my opening statement, quality of life issues are something we need to focus on. And if confirmed, I will certainly look into that.
That's it. Thank you very much, Mr. Phelan. Thank you for your testimony.